Have you ever felt like just giving up? Have you ever just had it? You wondered how you could be okay, or maybe if you even wanted to keep trying. Perhaps, like Elijah in today's first reading, you even got to the point where you prayed that you would die. For Elisha, the dream was over. He's now running for his life, pursued by the leaders. He was so discouraged, so tired, so hopeless that, like Moses before him, like Jonah before him, Elijah laid down under a tree and prayed that he would die. I suspect that there are a number of us who have been where Elijah was. Perhaps there are some here right now who feel that way. Maybe it's a sudden, devastating loss. Or maybe we were beaten down by the wear and tear of long-term struggles, the darkness of disappointment, diminishment, discouragement, despair, and we want to give up. For everyone, life is often enough difficult. Maybe you never laid down under a tree and prayed that you would die, or maybe you did. But most of us have those times when we wonder how we would ever be okay. At the toughest times, what helps you? What helps you go on? Perhaps we would do well to learn from something workers at one orphanage discovered during the bombings of World War II. Many children were killed, others were left orphaned, injured, homeless. Some were brought to orphanages. Now, some of those were pretty horrific places, but at most of them, the workers would just do what they could. At one orphanage, workers described the difficulties they had trying to get the frightened children to sleep at night. They were just too traumatized. I can't even imagine. Finally, someone came up with an idea that seemed to help many of them. Each child was given a piece of bread to take with them to bed at night. Holding and smelling that bread as they laid down to sleep gave many children the comfort they seemed to need. Bread is a simple food, nothing pretentious, but the smell of bread must have stirred something of home in those frightened children, something that helped them to trust that they would have what they needed. Perhaps we too might do well to learn to sleep with bread, so to speak. Not so much a physical loaf, but taking time to remember our simple blessings. We've each been through some tough times, haven't we? Yeah. But we're here now, aren't we? How did you do it? What was bread for you? Who helped? What did you draw on inside yourself? Maybe it was the kindness of a stranger, a piece of music, a moment in nature, the love of a family member, or that inner strength you developed over the years by faith. But you found what you needed, didn't you? We need to sleep with that, so to speak. And if it helps you to take a physical loaf of bread with you at night, well, go for it. For most, sleeping with bread will mean reminding ourselves through the day and again at night of the smell of the bread, of the love and goodness and support we have been given. Remembering that can help bring comfort now and hope for the future. So, in your tough times, what is something you could savor that could help you get through the day or to sleep at night? Some blessing, some memory, some goodness. Who has been there for you? What is a thought that you can remind yourself to help you go on? When you are frightened, what might you draw on? When we're afraid, we often feel like we're not going to have what we need to be okay. When we choose to sleep with bread in our lives, it can help us to move forward with a bit of peace in the midst of it all. Personally, for a while this week, though I wanted the comfort of sleeping with bread, I went to bed with a knot in my stomach several nights in a row. I had a few tense things to deal with, including a few strident people who were very vehement in their opinions. So I made myself not read emails right before I went to bed. Instead, I'd head outside and take a bit of a walk and try to remind myself of some of those things that I knew to be true. And one of the things that came to mind was a mantra that I found myself saying when I first arrived here in the midst of everything that was swirling around me and in me. It was this: savor the blessings, trust the chaos. That didn't make everything okay, but it helped a bit. And it was for me a good approach to take to bed at night. Savor the blessings, trust the chaos. In just a moment, we have a little gift for our college and graduate students as the new school year begins. Some of you will be away from home for the first time. For others, this is not new. Yet you never know what you will face, do you? We hope that things are never as tough for you as they were for Elijah today. But for everyone, life is sometimes hard. And did you notice that at the lowest point for Elijah, an angel appeared to him, encouraged him to eat and to keep going? You watch. During the tough times, an angel will show up for you. The angel probably will not look like what you thought it would look like, but love will show up. And maybe the cross could be your way to remind yourself that love will be there, to sleep with bread, so to speak. When we give each of you one of these, and maybe in the tough times, you could take it in your hands and remember that you are loved right then and there, because you are. And who knows, as you make your way through this year, there might be someone else struggling, and you might be needed to be their angel by how you smile at them or by some act of kindness. You might be just the bread they need to keep going. if there's anyone who hears me who is really struggling right now, I hope that we could be your angel at this time. That you can trust that there is love here for you, because there is. Those frightened, orphaned children were given a way to hang on. Like them, may we too remember to sleep with bread.